Hayabusa. Learning is important. That's why I've been using Skillshare. Now this is a serious video, guys, and a serious little advertisement. They contacted us, said check it out, and I was like, yeah. They have a 2-month free period right now when you sign up, so go ahead and come over here. You guys can get started for nothing, and it's a couple months free. Now, why would you want to go online and pay for this? Well, let me tell you why. It's always good to know about cooking, about coffee, so you guys can learn the basics of Unity. You guys can also learn the basics of Unreal. There's plenty of videos that will teach you about that. How about getting started with building websites? Start with WordPress or something like that. Very easy. If you want to do music production, well, you've got FL Studio, Ableton, Cubase. Type it in here. Let's search for Cubase. You guys can find the specific video for whatever question you may have. If you want to figure out how to create documentaries, use cameras, whatever. Guys, this is a how-to learning site. And the skills that you guys get from this can be directly used to get you jobs, to make you money, to help you become a freelancer or something like that. And that's what I've been using it for, to improve my entrepreneurial skills. There's lots of stuff about that. And also, you know, I've been looking at some of the Unreal videos because I've been doing a lot of Unreal Engine myself, but I don't know a lot of the blueprints and stuff that goes on behind the scenes. And this has been a really nice tool for me personally to get in there and start to understand some of the blueprints and stuff that's going on behind the scenes with this. So there's going to be a link in the top of the description. Remember, you guys are going to get 2 months free. I'll also put a pinned tweet in there for you guys who can't be bothered with descriptions. Let me know what you guys are going to be learning on Skillshare. How many Hertz do you need? Let's find out together. Right now we're gonna look at the PX5 Hayabusa from Pixio. Hayabusa is a Japanese word for falcon, I think, but it means it's freaking fast. This is a 240 Hertz freaking monitor. Ridiculous. 1 millisecond response time, 1001 contrast ratio, but it's all about the speed. And this is a 1080p monitor that's 25 inches, so it's a nice size for a 1080p monitor. It's not too big so that it looks ridiculous. But also, this is a very sharp and crisp monitor. One thing I noticed when switching from my other monitor that's been here on the desk to the Hayabusa is that all of a sudden everything just looks a little more crisp around the edges. I'm not sure if it's like a sharper monitor overall, but it has a very clean and crisp look to it. I almost want to call the look digital, even though that's not like a good definition. But it doesn't have like that super smooth theatrical look that you get with some of the media displays and projectors and stuff. It looks really crisp. So this is an AMD FreeSync panel, and that's going to give you the super smooth playback. A lot of you guys that are going to buy this are not going to use FreeSync. You're not going to set this up with G-Sync because it will be compatible, you know, with versions of G-Sync that work with adaptive sync and all that sort of thing. You're not going to use it that way. A lot of you guys are just going to plug this in and just use it all out, 240 Hertz, play your games on lower settings, and just take advantage of all of that. As long as your game's not going above 240, it's going to probably be okay. And I mean, you'll have less input latency, there'll be less lag. There's a little bit of, I mean, I think FreeSync is probably my favorite way to play because I'm more in it for the narrative and just the gameplay and the smooth feel. But with 240 Hertz, you're not going to need it that much. It goes all the way down to 48 Hertz as well on the low end. As far as the panel type goes, with panels this fast, they're going to have to be TN. So this is a TN panel. However, I do want to note that the colors do look pretty good, and we do have 160 to 170 degree viewing angle on this unit, even though that's something that's IPS is typically better at. And I did notice a slight bit better color with IPS. This is also a very good implementation of TN. The last thing I want to note is the different modes you have on this. It does have overdrive. It's got the flicker-free stuff going on, so you don't have to worry about that. There's a low blue light mode if you want to get ready for bed. They say it, you know, it's better for your eyes, but there's not really a lot of science that proves that. But there is a lot of science that says that the blue light can mess with your circadian rhythm. So if you turn that down before you go to bed, it might be easier to fall asleep instead of laying there all night. Put your fucking phone down, you jackass. And also there are yellow and red crosshairs that you can turn on and put in the middle of the screen if you want to cheat. You get HDR with 2 different ports, your display port or your HDMI port number 1. You have one HDMI 2.0 port. I'll give you the HDR and the 240 Hertz. The other HDMI port will only give you 144. The display port is 1.2, and that'll give you the 240 Hertz as well. And then you also have a headphone jack on here. Got a lot of different options. It comes with a DisplayPort cable and a power cable in the box. The stand on this is really cool. It doesn't take up a lot of desktop space, but it allows you to slide up and down. You got pivotal, swivot, pilt, and tilt, swivel, and pivot, all on this unit. And also the base will swivel. So not just the monitor. You can turn the monitor vertical on this stand. It'll slide up, and then you can turn it so that it's vertical. Have a vertical monitor if you wanted to. If you want to get 3 of these, there's like no bezel on this. You can have 3 of them with no really discernible bezel. Maybe a little black line in the middle, but you'll get over that. You'll zoom into the game. Or you can keep them, you know, as 3 of them and keep them in horizontal mode. landscape mode and just wrap them around. That'll work too, whatever you want to do. There's a swivel on the base itself, so you can just grab the entire unit and swivel it around, and there's even some markings so you can see how many degrees you're swiveling it. Pretty cool if you wanted to set everything up and have 2 monitors on the side, swivel them to be exactly even, and then keep the one in the middle right on 0. You can do that very easily with this display. All right, let's talk about Hertz. How bad should it Hertz for you guys? This monitor, in my opinion, is really only going to be for competitive gamers and people who just want the most accurate and flawless performance. People who are using the 3060 sensor, a really fancy, like infrared optical mouse. Using that. With this, they don't want anything getting in the way of them getting the good shot in whatever game it is, whatever Twitch shooter they're playing. People who are playing MMOs and stuff like that may not care as much, but I mean, why not? People who are playing RTS games and strategy games, it's not going to matter that much. You might want to look at some other monitors in the same price range, and I've got some suggestions for that. But really, this is only going to be for competitive gaming. 240 Hertz is kind of ridiculous. There's not a lot of games that go higher than that. Even Doom has a 200 Hertz cap. So this is really for Counter-Strike players and stuff like that who just crank everything down to the lowest settings. People who are playing Quake and stuff and turning everything down, turning off textures and stuff like that. You're going to like this. If you're someone who just does not need that, you guys can also look at a couple different options from Pixio. So this is the one that's probably my favorite because it's a nice compromise between 144 and 240 Hertz, 165 Hertz. And this one's also 1440p, and it's 32 inches, so it's a little bigger, a little higher resolution, and it's 165 Hertz. So for a lot of people, this is going to be sort of the sweet spot. It's even compatible with Xbox and PlayStation at 120 Hertz, if they can handle it. So this is the one that I personally like the best. But if you're really going for the competitive gaming, you're going to want the Hayabusa. You're going to want the crazy, ridiculous one. You guys can go over to Pixio's website and just see what else they have, because Pixio, they save a lot of money by owning their own factory and that sort of thing. And everything comes straight over here and then straight out to you guys. There's not a lot of ridiculous overhead. They can keep their prices lower and give you better features, which is something I like. They didn't pay me to say that, but that's something I figured out just by researching, because I was like, how can I get, these specifications into a monitor that is this price? When I look at some of the competitors like BenQ and Samsung and all that sort of thing, you get similar features for 2 to 3 times the price. Even some of the monitors from Asus and stuff like that that have these, the aggressive gamer aesthetics and all that sort of thing. They keep it minimal when it comes to the aesthetic, which I actually like. And then on top of that, they keep the prices in a price point where it's just like, yeah, that's what I would love to pay for those features. So I would definitely go check out Pixio's website. If you're a competitive gamer, you probably already have a Hayabusa. It's all about how much do you want it to Hertz. That's what you got to ask yourself. Head over to our store, why don't you? Get one of these Shodan t-shirts. Is that Shodan? I don't know who it is. It's just, I'm not sure if we're allowed to say that. It's some hacker thing t-shirt from some sci-fi. It's an homage. Go buy it. epicpants.com. See you guys in the comments. If you guys have any questions, put them there. See you guys later.